Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Avax. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one so that you have more context. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Now, if you want to support Ukraine and you're able to do so, you can go to the official websites I linked down below and you can donate directly to the funds to support the Ukrainian refugees. Thank you all for watching the video, and let's get on to the technical analysis. So we have a Fibonacci retracement here that I've had for more than a year, right? So I've had this for a very long time. I use this high that we created in February and this low that we created in June/July of 2021. So right now what we've done is we went all the way back down to the 0.236 fib, which is at $14.50. And from there, we saw a very nice bullish uptrend here all the way to the golden ratio. So essentially what we did here is we created a dead cat bounce. So you print a high, you come back down, and then you start retracing. You run into the golden ratio, you get sent back down. That's exactly the dead cat scenario. And that's what we had here. Now, this doesn't mean that Avax is going to go to zero, obviously. Although I don't really like the FUD surrounding the project and the Ava Labs, but that's besides the point. So what we have done here is we came back down to where we started retracing from. So we came back down to this buy zone that I gave you, anywhere from $17 to $16. And this is exactly where we started retracing from when we had this nice uptrend into August. So this is a good dollar cost averaging opportunity right now for any of you looking to buy into Avax. Now, there is a potential that we might retest $14.50 once again, which is this low at the 236 fib. Now, if you want to buy in at that price, I would recommend you set up some buy limit orders in advance. And also, if Bitcoin decides to capitulate for whatever reason it may be, whether it's a black swan event, whether it's regulation from the US side, or really any sort of black swan event can drive the markets down in a span of minutes. Okay, so if you want to be ready for such an event, you want to have stable coins on your wallets ready to go, and you want to set up buy limit orders. So what you can do here is you can potentially set up buy limit orders all the way down to $9.50, which is the lows that we retested here in 2021 during July, June, August. And this is where I was giving you this initial buy zone. And I told you guys this would be an amazing buying opportunity for Avax. And for those of you who bought into the project, congratulations, because you saw an incredible uptrend afterwards. But what I'm saying here is that we may come back down to these prices to retest them if we see any sort of capitulation for Bitcoin. And I know from here it seems unrealistic, but so did these prices seem unrealistic when we were up here. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful, be ready for both outcomes. There's going to come a time when we're going to be in these kind of uptrends once again, and then you can take profits along the way. But for that, you need to have patience, and you need to dollar cost average into your projects, especially if you have been buying up here. You want to average your position. And yeah, just be ready for both outcomes. I keep saying that, and that's really the motto of this channel, because I'm not here to tell you that the price is going to go up or down. I'm here to tell you where the price might go if it goes up, and where the price might land if it starts dropping. Okay, so that you have your resistance levels and you have your support levels. So anywhere from $10 to 66 cents to $9.34, that is your kind of golden bottom, in my opinion, because I don't think Avax is going to be losing this bottom, right? Unless Bitcoin really decides to drop to $10,000, which I personally don't think is going to happen. But then again, I don't matter in the markets, and really all of us guys, we don't affect the prices whatsoever. So our opinions don't really matter. What you can do is you can simply react to the market. So me saying I don't think Bitcoin is going to go to $10,000 doesn't mean that it's not going to, but I'm just using my logic. I'm just using my experience in the markets, and a drop to $10,000 is really going to be negative for the markets. And after that, I don't know how long it's going to take until we start recovering and creating higher highs. At the current pace, I do think we might start creating higher highs starting with spring of 2023, because that's when the energy crisis is not going to be such an issue, such a strong issue in Europe and elsewhere. And I think that after that, we might see the Fed start printing money, getting, in 2023, 2024. That's when we might start seeing the bull market come back. And you have to remember, the Bitcoin halving is supposedly arriving in March of 2024. So we do have some time left until that happens, until we start our next parabolic rise. And you want to be ready with your altcoins, and you want to have good buying opportunities. So like I said, if you're looking to buy into Avax, great opportunity to do so right now. If you're looking for resistance levels, obviously the first resistance level is going to be here at the 0.382 at $19.10. Also, you have the previous support of the symmetrical triangle here. So you potentially are looking at the pink trend line as resistance from now on. If you continue breaking that, I would target the upper resistance trend line of the symmetrical triangle and the 0.5 fib retracement level. That would be at $23.80. And obviously above that, you have the golden ratio at $29.67. And I think that is a level that we might retest in November, because I am expecting a bullish move in November, because we've seen that twice before in the past 2 years, but we were in bull markets back then. Right now we are in a bear market. So the move might not be as bullish, but we may start creeping our way up towards those prices in November, and we may reach $30 once again in November. From there, we see one last capitulation in January, December, and from there we continue with our higher highs from spring 2023 towards the summer of 2024, eventually, getting into the bull market. That's what I think is potentially going to happen, but that's a very bullish outcome. And I'm still expecting one last capitulation, and I don't know when that capitulation is going to happen. I was expecting it to happen in September, just in time before the November uptrend, but seemingly that's not the case right now. So I don't know when that is going to happen. We need to see the miners capitulate. So you have a couple of resistance levels. Obviously, the daily 20 EMA and the daily 55 EMA are two massive resistance levels. You need to start breaking through those, and you need to start creating bullish crosses for you to get those confirmations. But as you can see, you got a bullish cross here August 9th, and just a week later, or 10 days later, 11 days later, you got a bearish cross. So this is not a 100% definite confirmation of the bull market. This is simply a confirmation of an uptrend, okay, of a local uptrend. If you want a confirmation, so to speak, of the bull market, you need to go to the weekly chart of Bitcoin, and you need to go to the weekly chart of your altcoins and look for those bullish crosses there. Once they happen on the weekly chart, that is a very strong indicator, because they don't happen that often. And the higher the time frame, the less false signals you're going to have. Moving over to the daily RSI here, as you can see, we do have two trend lines. The blue one is the current support. The red one is the current resistance. So potentially you could run into the red trend line. The last time we did that was back at the beginning of September. I told you that if you run into this trend line, you could have a nice exit point for you, and you could buy back in lower. That's exactly what happened here. But then again, you're never sure if you're going to get rejected from this trend line. Mathematically speaking, it is very possible, because you've done that multiple times before, starting with November of 2021. But, if you do break out, then you can sell some more. That's why you don't sell all at one price, and that's why you don't buy all in at one price. You have to dollar cost average your way in and out of your projects. So for support, look for the blue trend line, but at this point it would be down here in the oversold. And once you're in the oversold, you don't need me to tell you that that's a great buying opportunity. Now let's move over to the Binance website. Switching over to the Binance website, you can see that we are on the weekly chart right now. We have ourselves a major resistance trend line, or major resistance zone, around about the index of 41. And we retested that here in August. And we bounced from there in June of 2021 and in July of 2021. So that was our bottom. We retested that bottom as resistance right now, and we're below that level. So what I'm expecting is potentially come November, we can come back into that area and get rejected from there. We can also run into this multi-month resistance that we've been hitting since December of last year. Then we had a touch in April, and right now we may see another touch here in November. Potentially, we may even break out. I'm going to give you another resistance trend line that you could eyeball if you do end up breaking through there. Just over here, as you can see at the index of 47. Let me change the color of that so it's a bit easier for you to see it. I'm going to make it red. So as you can see, the index of 47, you do have multiple touches. Actually, I'm just going to use a rectangular pattern. That's going to be way better. So as you can see, you have 2 touches off of that zone in March and January of this year, and you do have a backtest of resistance in May of 2021. So if you end up breaking through this zone here at the index of 41, I would start targeting the index of 47 as a major resistance level, because we haven't retested that yet as resistance, and we just may do that come November, and we may see the last capitulation into the previous zone as support, and from there we continue on with our uptrend. So that is pretty much it for now, guys. If I missed anything important on the charts, let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to join me on Patreon. It's a great way for you to get more exclusive content, and you can send in your requests for technical analysis, for video requests, for project reviews. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Goodbye and good night.